webinar. So also Zoom has done some updates. So maybe he had to update his before he could join us properly. It probably glitched out or something on him. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Mind Health Shop Talk. We have a lot of people coming in already. We have a few people on the phone. Welcome everyone. Oh wow, a lot of people supporting this Mind Health Shop Talk. Welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna have us go live here on Facebook. So if you know anyone who still wants to join us, tell them they can join us on our Facebook page. And we'll be taking questions there. Dr. Bruce Purnell is with us tonight. He'll be logging on in a few. So there we go. We're live on Facebook. I got to see the comments on here. Okay, great. This is on, hold on. I think I'm not on the correct Facebook page. Okay, so we're gonna stop this. All right, I gotta stop this. Technical difficulties by the user error. Stop live stream. Hello, everyone. We'll get started in a few. Oh, it was right. Oh. Okay. Okay, so now I'm live. I'm doing it again. Hello, Dr. Bruce. Welcome. Uh-oh, he's frozen. Okay, now you're back on, but now I can't hear you.
30 minutes to get on. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Is it because you had to do your updates?
Yeah, just my Norton expired, so it automatically updated. Then it restarted the computer and updated.
Forever.
And it just fragmented everything. So everything, I was like, oh, not now. Not now, please. Ancestors, come help me. Help me right now. Yeah.
So welcome, Dr. Bruce. We're going to get started in a few. Give everyone a couple minutes. We have quite a few people online. Everyone, if you want to grab your friends to check us out on Facebook, you could go to the Black Mental Health Alliance page. We'll be able to get questions from there. And you'll be able to interact with our Mind Health Shop Talk that way. Okay. Daquila says, peace and love, everyone.
Hey, peace and love.
So thank you guys for joining us today. How are you doing, Dr. Bruce, after all that?
Well, yeah, I'm recovering. I'm recovering.
Yep, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started because I want to make sure that we have enough time for your presentation. So I just wanted to welcome everyone for the Mind Health Shop Talk. For tonight, we're doing Let's Stay Together, a presentation by the Love More organization and Dr. Bruce. We're so excited to have him. For the Mind Health Shop Talk sessions, we are the mental health component of the Good Health, Great Hair program. And these forums are led by either a licensed medical clinician like Dr. Bruce or somebody with lived experience, and include culturally competent mental health information, discussions, and resources. So we started fall last year, 2021, and the whole year will be until December 2022. And usually we're held in the partner shops and salons, but due to COVID, we are holding the Mind Health Shop Talks virtually. So for this session, Let's stay together. I want to read a little quote from Dr. Bruce. It's love like you've never been hated. Express yourself like you've never been judged. Affirm your desires until they become self-fulfilling prophecies. Dream like you never had a nightmare. Energize your life like your spirit was a magical solar panel. Reflect like the sun is your mirror, and smile so hard that you blind the haters. I swear that's my favorite part of that affirmation. And that's from Dr. Bruce Purnell, our speaker tonight. So with that, I want to hand off to you, our Kaiser Permanente program consultant, Miss Dr. Warren. Welcome, Dr. Warren. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm excited for today's conversation as well. Can you hear me clearly, Roxanne? No?
Sorry, yes, we can hear you.
Great. Good evening, everyone. And again, welcome to tonight's talk. I'm excited because, of course, we're talking about love. It's Black History Month. So I know Dr. Purnell is going to share some exciting things. I bring greetings, of course, from Kaiser Permanente and the State of Maryland Health Department Go Vax campaign, which is a campaign that's focused on building vaccine confidence in the state of Maryland. We've deployed amongst our trusted partners, of course, barbershop and salon owners, local in Baltimore City, Prince George's County and Montgomery County to really enhance the COVID-19 vaccine education and outreach. This initiative has been really wonderful in really deploying vaccine equity in communities of color and in communities that are most in need and vulnerable. Kaiser Permanente specifically offers a comprehensive plan, infrastructure, and current partner network that supports effort to increase this confidence and acceptance of the COVID-19 vaccine. We've done this in a series of 4 different ways since inception of the program a few months ago, and that's through COVID vaccine education trainings, and those trainings are led specifically by Mid-Atlantic Permanente Medical Group, effective outreach, again, through canvassing, through our Baltimore Healthy Start partner, and we thank them for all their assistance in getting the word out. And then, of course, collateral materials and GoVax giveaways and materials provided to outfit our partner locations. Again, I just want to say thank you to Black Mental Health Alliance. Thank you to our barbershop and salon partners for their partnerships and trusted messengers. And of course, thank you to Baltimore Healthy Start for their continued partnership.
Thank you so much. So I sent a message out to everyone thanking them that we'll be taking your comments and questions, but I only sent it to the panelists. So now I sent it out to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Warren, for that. I also forgot to tell everyone that we have some giveaways. So hopefully you can see this. We have some little love items that we'll be giving out throughout our talk as well.
Yay.
So yes. So now
we love gifts.
Yes, we love a good a good little gift that'll encourage us and help us feel love as well. And it's cute. This is like your little Valentine gift that you used to get when you went to school. And it's good to celebrate your childhood sometimes.
Yeah, panda.
All the time if you can, right? So thank you for that. Shanae said, "Oh." So with that, I wanted to also introduce our executive director, Ms. Andrea Brown. She'll be talking a little bit about what we do here at the Black Mental Health Alliance.
Yay.
So thank you. Yay. Thank you so much. One of my favorite people is speaking tonight. And so I can't wait to go on mute. And I'm not sure whether that's going to look like music. I have no idea, but I am ready. And so thank you so much for joining us this evening. And a special thanks to our partner and collaborator, our sponsor in this work, Kaiser Permanente. And thank you, Dr. Warren, for joining us. And so again, I will be mindful of our time because I don't want to, you want to hear from Dr. Purnell, but let me just talk to you a little bit about the mission of the Black Mental Health Alliance. And we have been in existence almost 40 years. I know when I say it to partners and friends, they are like, you are kidding. And so next year will be our 40th birthday. And so we are excited about a number of things, not just taking the national stage, but also the impact that we get to have on our community. And so we're super excited. But we really were born to develop, promote, and sponsor trusted, culturally relevant educational programs and trainings and referral services that support the health and well-being of Black people and vulnerable communities. And we don't apologize for that. So again, we are excited about being here, and we're excited about today. And if I could just offer one of the things, you know, we've been in this moment, many of us are experiencing COVID fatigue, COVID weariness, all of that. And early in the pandemic, one of our colleagues said to us, because we weren't meeting in person, and she said, there's no substitute for a hug. There's no substitute for somebody saying, I love you. And so, you know, Dr. Bruce often reminds us, you know, Roxana talks about her favorite part of his affirmation, and mine is about affirming yourself. And so, but it is those kinds of moments that carried many people through. And so being able to look at those, listen to some of what he shared with us in the past, and listen to what we know to be so as Black people, and knowing music as our North Star, and a number of other things. It really has been such a life transformation for us. And so I'm excited about today. I am Andrea Brown. I'm not an imposter. I'm the executive director for the Black Mental Health Alliance. And so we, like you, find ourselves in this critical place as we move from whatever recovery needs to look like from the place that we're in. And we can't be thankful enough. And although we only have 28 days, is what they call Black History Month, we are Black History every day of every month. And so we live it. We want you to enjoy what will happen tonight. I think Dr. Bruce or Dr. Purnell or Roxana will give instructions, but you should be able to comment in the chat. You don't want to miss it. He is honestly on our A-list. And so he is a friend to Black Mental Health Alliance and Black people. So having said all of that, I think that I get to come back on at the end, talk a little bit about membership, ask you to fill out a survey, but more importantly, thank you for joining us in this fight. And so I think Roxana is going to introduce him, but I get to say, Dr. Bruce Purnell, who is the executive director of the Love More movement. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for joining us. And Dr. Purnell, you are just a boss. And so I'm calling all the men this month. King Purnell, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was beautiful. So I forgot to tell everyone what this build shop is about. And Dr. Bruce has purposely called it a build shop instead of a workshop, because we're building up on the skills we already have. But we're going to take a trauma-informed look at love, joy, hope, peace, purpose, and liberation as it relates to mental wellness, relationships, and what we consider to be the glue in our relationships. So as Baba Al Green is asking us to stay together and remember that we really love each other in a time where breakups have become the new normal. We're going to discuss the role of historical trauma has played on the way we see ourselves, each other, and relationships. And we'll also look at some examples of Black love and discuss how the media has shaped our perception of loving relationships. So lastly, we'll also develop some strategies, which Black Mental Health Alliance is all about, the strategies, the tools, to how we will manifest what Baba Al Green's self-fulfilling prophecy, let's stay together. So with that, I get to introduce Dr. Bruce Purnell. So Dr. Bruce is the founder and executive director of the community-based nonprofit organization called the Love More Movement. He is a psychologist, author, artist, speaker, and community activist. He is a direct descendant of the Underground Railroad conductors, station masters, freedom fighters, and educators. And I think last week you were doing some underground rail, or the week before last, you were actually in Philadelphia doing some work on the underground railroad historical presentation. So hopefully we get to hear some of that. Like his ancestors, he's dedicated to creating a world where love, joy, peace, hope, purpose, equity, transformation, and liberation are lifestyles. And also, I wanted to also bring up that you are doing a lot of indigenous work in communities and also in some of the most impoverished cities. You're trying to make people kind of work through their differences and reduce violence. So maybe we can hear a little bit about that work that you're doing now as well. Okay. I'm already asking questions, but hopefully we get to hear about some of the awesome stuff you're doing. So welcome, Dr. Bruce Purnell.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know, like the Black Mental Health Alliance is that's family. So I'm always excited anytime I get to connect with the Black Mental Health Alliance. I mean, really, thanks to Kaiser Permanente also, and always supporting the best parts of ourselves. That's so, that's so important. And today, like we, being that, like you said earlier, is Black History Month. It's kind of the month of love. We connect the two, and we really gotta take a look at what that looks like for us. And I always say, like, the first thing, and almost one of the most important things that we can do, actually to start a transformational journey, is to create a brave space. So we're gonna start with that brave space. And since we've been zooming so long, we're gonna start with a Zoom piece, that intro into zooming. And to really calibrate us in this brave space. So I'm gonna start there.
Yes, you should be able to
okay, I can see
their screen now.
Okay. And as you go through this, it'll be some pictures, but then we're going to a meditation, and let yourself go and calibrate yourself in a journey of transformation, and think about a brave space. And a brave space is when it's okay to be vulnerable, when you know that everybody around you is wrapping you with love and support and hope, and we'll take it from there. It's interesting how just artistically water and trees and nature and us and smiles and laughter can completely recalibrate us mentally and have us really understanding what this journey is all about. And that's what it is, because like we, being trauma informed, a lot of times we have to identify the pain, but understand that we're identifying the pain so we can release it, and we're on a journey to love, joy, hope, peace, purpose, liberation. And that's where we're going. It's not to just identify the pain and say, okay, and I'm stuck here. And because our ancestors had every intention for us to be able to move forward, and for our children to be able to smile and thrive. And we have to understand that it's a difference between survival and thriving, and surviving and thriving. And because we've had to survive so long, sometimes we don't know the difference, and we'll form our goals just based on survival and won't even think about or being a fathom thriving and what thriving looks and feels like. And this is about, thriving. Our journey is to, at some point, be in a point where we're thriving and know that we're on that in that place. So in that, let me go to this.
Yes, you have a lot of comments about the video.
Okay. Do you want to, are there anything you want to share while I go to the PowerPoint?
Miss Patrice is saying, after a long, busy day, this is comforting. Thank you for sharing. Andrea said, so on point. Alicia said, thank you so much, sir, for the powerful representation and collective word and picture combination of the simplicities of what freedom can mean and represent to so many people. And I agree. I saw that comment, and I think the video definitely resonates with that.
Well, thanks.
Andrea also said, we must make time to do this more, think, dream, laugh, and reflect. And Richard Rowe, King Richard said, a great calming video for the soul, mind, and spirit.
Oh, excellent.
So a lot of good feedback about that.
Excellent. That's it's so important. And think about Zoom, and I'm surprised that I'm glad that the kind of commercial industry missed Zoom that way, because Zoom is definitely a special piece to us, and it allows us to travel. But now when I think Zoom, it's in my head. Like, it's like Zoom, 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 Zoom. It's surely in my head. I'm hanging on sharing the screen, but we're gonna, wait a minute. I don't know why it's hanging up. Let me try it again. Okay, there you go. And we talked about the brave space again. That's always first. And understand also, like in relationships, because sometimes we won't really think about the importance of having a brave space and what that means. But imagine if in a relationship, if you could share whatever you was thinking and feeling with your partner, or really any relationship, whether it's a loving relationship or a relationship with your children, with family and friends at the job. If it always was a brave space first, where whatever we was thinking and feeling, we could be that and wouldn't be judged for it, and we could move through it knowing that we're in a space of love. And I found with our children, when we talk to them, especially at the teen, when they hit their teens, when you start asking them, like, do they feel like they have a space like that, and they'll say no. When I talk to the adults, they really say, well, actually, I can't even remember having a brave space. And our seniors also. And I was like, wow, like, for us not to have a place that we feel that we can be vulnerable is a problem. And when we think about the trauma, like, what happened to us, like, that we had no control over. So we had 400 years of being broke up. Like, so if you were married and during the time of slavery, if you were on a plantation, and you could be married with children, and your children just be sold, your wife sold, the husband can be sold, and you have to start over again, wherever you at. Like, you had no control over being able to stay together. So sometimes we don't even know, like, 400 years of that, like, and so then, we start out, we don't know that we may be breaking up because we don't even expect to stay together, because we have 400 years of being broke up. So as we release that piece through the healing part of it, and that's why Al Green is so important, and it's so important for us to pass on that as a legacy, so our children know. Because Al Green wasn't asking us, why do we break up? He said, let's stay together. Well, he said, why don't we stay together? He said, let's stay together. right? So I want to hit that piece too, and a couple of things I want to share that, evolution's the new revolution, right? So as we evolve, it's not so much about an oppressive energy as it is about our own evolution. And no energy has power to really, no other energy can actually transform love. Love is the only transformative energy. It can transform any energy on the planet. So once we show up in love and light, we can create and build whatever we want to build. Like, we don't have to go through an oppressive energy to get back to us. And anytime we felt that we've had to go through somebody else to get back to us, it hasn't been good, right? So we need to know that. And I want to also look at the love piece and the spirit of my ancestors, like something was sharing. Like, I got heavily into genealogy, and I believe that a part of our liberation is understanding who we are. But this is the marriage certificate of one of my ancestors, my fourth great-grandfather, John Jones, and Mary Jones, who was Mary Richardson Jones, who were station masters of the Underground Railroad in Chicago. But I'm gonna tell you how much she was the love of his life, right? So he was indentured in North Carolina because he was born free, but they were scared that they would sell him into slavery, so they indentured him to Tennessee to learn how to be a tailor, and really just to protect his freedom because he was scared they was going to sell him to slavery. So he, when the guy that he was indentured to died, the family tried to say that he wasn't free, he was enslaved, and he had to escape from Tennessee, get to North Carolina to get his papers and come back, and they held trial in Tennessee. And they found that he was free. So at this time, like, the love of his life was Mary Richardson, and she was also a free person of color. And she, her father was a blacksmith and stuff, but because they got so hot in Tennessee, they moved to Alton, Illinois. So when he got back and they found him free, he went to Alton, Illinois, and found her with $3 in their pocket. They got married and actually went to Chicago, was one of the first families to, after DeSable, to inhabit Chicago. He had to get freedom papers, and I'm not going to show those right now, but I have those also. But within the museum, Chicago Historical Society, we get them to the museum to display, but he had to have freedom papers to carry with him everywhere they went. It was $1,000, like, and for you to actually be able to move. And that's how it was, right? And so I want to dedicate this piece to him because, like, you go through that, for love, and to actually have, I can see the marriage certificate. And I have both. I have another one of my fourth greats that was in D.C. and in like 1834 or something like that, they were married. But just to have those certificates, I'm like, wow, man, like, we was getting married legally before slavery, and they don't tell us that in history. They don't let us know that, we actually, like, our history, one, it didn't start with slavery, and it's not just that's not our history here. It's not just being enslaved. It's a whole nother piece. So let me go to our brother Al Green piece, and we, like I said, we got passed on as a legacy. So we wrote a play. Well, actually, I wrote a play. It's called "Thank You, Miss Martha," and in that play, there's a lot of reenactments of the past, but we have commercials like during the play. And so the young brother that's singing "Let's Stay Together" is a part of a production that we put on for at Benjamin Floyd Middle School. We had middle school students learn to play and do it for the community. And
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do, oh yeah, alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so right new. And I want to spend my life with you. Let me say that since, oh baby, since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever, yeah, know what I need. Let me be the one you can run to. Never be untrue. Ooh, baby, let's stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Hey. Whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Why people break up, I wanna know, and turn around and make up. Yeah, I just came to see, but you never do that to me. Would you, baby? Being around you is all I see. It's what I want us to do. Let's stay together. Oh, no, we do. Loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Yes. Woo. Let's stay together, baby. I wanna love you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Stay together, I wanna love you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. You can't always be with the one you love, but long as I can hold you, baby, yeah. I wanna squeeze you. Let me be with you, baby. Yeah.
You know, some of our young people don't know that we were dancing to this. Like, you know, so we got to really think that, you know, really the energy that we were able to express, like, they could never break love. Like, whatever we've been through, and we've been through a whole lot, understand, like the Middle Passage, slavery, post-Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, assassinations of our leaders, and we're still in the war on drugs piece. Even though they ended it, we still living it out. We still love, and anybody that can still love, that's been through that much, we have to know that that's who we are. We represent love, and that's our core denominator, and that's actually the energy that can't be broken, and what we tap into, and that's how we move to liberation is through love. Let me talk about love a little bit. Love, derived from Sanskrit, lubhyati, meaning desire, is the most powerful force in our social world and universally understood through our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors. Most of us have heard that love conquers all, love wins, love heals, God is love. So I posit that one human behavior that will consistently yield positive outcomes is to love more. Love is stronger than logic and science and universally affects all of humanity, regardless of culture, gender, class, sexual orientation, or any other characteristic that allows us to attach isms. Love is a shot of adrenaline, endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin. It involves the limbic system's basal nuclei, the thalamus, and the hypothalamus, and it can act both as an analgesic and a sedative. Love is connected to the sympathetic nervous system's fight or flight responses, so instead of just saying fight, flight, or freeze, we have the option to say love more. Parents wait for their babies to utter love as their first emotional power concept. If I love you, mommy, I love you, daddy, there's no question as to the importance of how love will ultimately shape our lives. If love happens in a positive, healthy, and healing way, it will be the strongest protective factor in our lives and connected to transformative decisions and healthy lifestyles. However, if love is absent or abusive, it will be the most salient risk factor connected to life choices that create cliche sayings like looking for love in all the wrong places. Love is powerful. And I had to struggle with the system itself that kind of governs social sciences, so to speak, psychology, sociology, social work, and because they said that love's not smart, meaning that it's not specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based, so you can't use it because you can't measure it. And I argue that love, just like hope and trust and things, it's the most, we can't have something called a black psychology without love at the center of it. Like, it just won't work, like, because that's who we are. We're a feeling people, like probably when you looked at the artistic pieces, you felt it somewhere in your body, probably also stress was being released and you feel it leaving your body. Like, we're that kind of people, so we can't go with the logical mind as a way to get out of this piece. So I'm going to my riddle of the day, and I want to also thank everybody who came. I saw a few people. I can't really see the chat because I have the shared screen. I can't really see it, but I saw Brother Q on it, my brother Kennerworth, Uptown Jules, my soul family, Mama Trinette, Mama Karen, Sister Dietrich all the way in Atlanta, and everybody else that I haven't been able to see that came on to join us. And as we talk about love, because we could be doing like all kinds of other things. Sister Veronica and Sonia and everybody else, because I can't see the chat. So just know I love y'all and thank y'all for taking this journey, because as much time as we can spend in holding space to release past trauma and move to love and liberation is always going to be a positive thing. This is holding up a little bit, but I want to go to my riddle of the day, right? So to prove his love, right, this brother ran on foot from Florida to Canada. He swam across the Atlantic Ocean and rode his bicycle from DC to Atlanta. What do you think his wife did in response? Anybody? Please put your answers in the chat. What did his wife do in response as he tried to show his love? He went through all of that to show his love. Roxanne, can you read I can see. Oh, the chat's up top. This is this.
Look, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what she did. No one gave her.
Nobody knows what she did when Daddy tried to show his love. I said I love you. That's so cool. Said I love you. She said, "Fool, where have you been?"
What did you bring?
Yeah. Well, actually, she divorced him for not being around. So, so, and that's really, it's really a joke. I'm saying, man, I say funny, but all right. So let's go to this one. I hurt the most when lost, and even more when never found. I can be hard to express and easy to ignore. What am I? I hurt the most when lost, and even more when never found. I can be hard to express and easy to ignore. What am I? See what we got.
You had some good answers in the chat.
Mama Trinette got, Cosmo said the black man, all right.
Trinette said love. I said love too.
Love is it.
Julian said that's what love is.
That's what love is. That's right. And a question to the group, like in your life, and when you see people that have stuck together in relationships, what was the glue that held them together? What do you think the glue was that held them together? Just put your interpretation in the chat, like those that you see in that. Richard said, repeat the question. So, as you see, like in relationships, when you see people that stayed together, were able to stay together, what was the glue that held them there? Like, what was that glue? Like, what was it about them that allowed them to get through whatever they got through to be together? I see communication, choosing to love each other every day, friendship, hope of one day having freedom of building something, right? Prayer. Hey, Diamond, what's up? You know, that was cool. Mama Karen, was that Mama Karen? Always believing in each other, understanding, integrity, commitment, love and commitment, freedom. Carl said understanding, talking, and give and take, and praying. And Dietrich said trust. Roxana, I think believing in what we are building together in each other. I agree with that piece. Like as I look at us, and a lot of people talk about the breakdown of the black community. Brother Richard said black love. Yeah, we look at like, okay, what is it like? So for somebody or people that have been through what we've been through and stuck through everything, like why would we be breaking up? And that's kind of Al Green's question, like why do people break? Why do we break up? And I tend to believe that we have never fell out of love. We fall out of balance, and I think it is because even in coming together, like we didn't come together. Sometimes we didn't come together to build together, right? And you think that we came together to self-medicate together to get through the pain. And if we picked a partner, and we might not even known it, right? We picked a partner for them to relieve the pain, like any drug. At some point, they're not, and we probably would take that as you're not doing something that you were doing in my life before. Let me see. I think some people are scared to be fully vulnerable. Yeah, and that's something like, because we don't have the brave space. Sometimes, like, you know, we parents are taught to keep children loud. Children are to be seen, not heard, right? So that's not really a brave space. Like, when do you know that it's okay to share how you really feel? Dietrich says sometimes for survival. Yeah, it's for survival. So we got to get together when we can survive better together. And if that falls off, then, you know, sometimes love, we believe that love fell off. That's very true. Like what we are saying, and I take it that we're seeing the same things in our community, because now, like I talk to our children, and you talk about marriage, and they like, oh no, immediately it's like it's viewed as a negative, and almost like love is like presented as lame, and it's not something that we did. Because remember, in our lifetime, in our lifetime, we were at one point we were soul brothers and soul sisters. We listened to soul music. We ate soul food. We watched Soul Train. And you couldn't detach spirituality from us. You couldn't detach love from us. Like, you would. It was a part of the language. Like you said, like we just saw Al Green. We were dancing to that. We were dancing to love music. Yes, I hear that marriage is so terrible. Yeah. The interpretation of marriage to young people. Why would it be that? And you have to think that what do they see when they see marriage? What do y'all see when y'all see marriage now? And what comes to you to mind when you think marriage right now? Just if you were to be totally honest about your interpretation, like right now, like how do you see it? If you could give your interpretation now of what marriage looks like to you, just through the lens that you're looking through, what do you see? Roxana says, the world view is terrible. Use each other to get more stuff. Wow, yeah. Hoping for the best, but preparing for the wow. Yeah, I hear a lot of that. Hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. Yeah. Brothers and sisters already prepared for the breakup before it even gets started. For me, a partnership for building a legacy and companionship. Yeah. World also views as a business transaction. I've heard a lot of that also. What we look like on paper. My parents, they have been together 40 years. And married for 35 years, black love, that's marriage for me. Wow. Yeah. Something you don't get to see on TV too much, right? Isn't that something that, you would think that why would we show things that we didn't want replicated in life to our children? Being vulnerable is when we have our most transformative breakthroughs, that's right. I think people get married for safety. What did you say? Yeah. Strength and unity. It's been, Pastor John said, hey, Pastor John, that it's too commercialized. Yeah, like when we go through the commercial lens and come back, and now like our children are tuned in to television and they're kind of interpreting the world through television. They view it as reality, like, and it's like, wow, they don't know what love looks like. And sometimes, like, they've seen so much pain and we've expressed so much pain that I know one time some of Baba Dick Gregory was saying, he said, Dad, my mother taught me so much about the ugliness and of the devil that I never knew the beauty of God until he got older. Brother Rich Rose says, historically and even today, programmed to disrespect, hurt, harm, devalue each other in family life. Yeah, and so that's kind of the piece that we're headed now. We're like, okay, we have to release that part of ourselves and reconnect to the glue that held us together. And because you figure, like, we got so much we got through, it's unbelievable. Marriage can be scary for many if there has been no representation of health and health message. That's right. Deidre says the couples that she works with are often looking for their spouse to be everything for them, which is a lot of pressure. Yeah, that's the drug piece. Like, I need you to be the drug, and with any drug, like, at some point, it's not going to be effective anymore. That have the same effectiveness. Carl, Brother Q says, it's basically viewed if you been around a loving couple, family, some married for convenience. Some see it as a business partnership to see what we can achieve together. Yeah. You cannot be everything to everyone. That's right. That's right. So as we create, like we have to recreate the whole schema, like, so what is actually going to be like, and what we want our children to see. We have to create that. When I go to a couple of pictures, I want y'all to interpret a few pictures. And forgive me for this. My computer's hanging up. My Norton upgraded. We didn't upgrade it. It expired and rebooted, so I'm getting some fragmented stuff happening. Let me go to this one. Let me go to this one first. And like I said before, like, you know, that we really don't fall out of love. We fall out of balance. And sometimes we don't know that the intention is like, what is it that we have the opportunity to create by being together. But how do y'all see this? How do y'all see this this picture? What do you see here? Don't even worry about the spelling, Carl. Oneness and balance. Wow, yeah. Oneness and balance. Finding balance, yeah. Yeah. Men and women balancing each other. Love is not lame, it's the only thing. That's right. That's right. I think our love isn't lame, it's the only thing. That's right. Balance, focus, and trust through teamwork. Yep. Trust. Yeah, you have to trust to actually, to be held up, right? Balance, focus, and trust through teamwork. Yeah. Yeah. Men and women demonstrating trust and support of one another. That's right. Yeah. Balance, calm, and meditation. Yeah. Strength and beauty and trust in each other. That's right. Imagine if this is what we learned when we were young to look for in a relationship. I have you if you have me. That's right. Agreement of purpose. Wow. Unity and consciousness. Wow. It's powerful. It's powerful stuff. Yeah. Imagine as we were introduced to dating. Remember when we were young, and I go with you? Remember that? Yeah, you go with me, I go with you. And we didn't know what it meant. What if we were taught that this is what we were to look for, even when we were learning what it was to date and stuff? What would it have been if we were taught to look for somebody that where we could build and have balance and complementary energy? Like, what would that look like? Would it have been different for you? Mama Karen said, when we start with love, trust with each other, you will build all the other parts of your relationship, of your journey together. That's right. Says the Dietrich, both have to be brave with self and each other to do this. This is a relationship. Wow. Yeah. Did anybody learn this? Let me just ask a simple question like that. Did anybody learn to look for this when they were younger and were taught to seek out a mate or a partner? Did anybody learn to look for complementary energy? Wow. Wow. I see one yes. If we learned this growing up, we would know that one person is not everything, and we are meant to complement each other, and no one is perfect. Wow. Wow. Is complementary energy the same as being equally yoked? Depends, like if, because like you could find a compliment that, well, my belief is that might not be completely equally yoked, but it's just complementary energy, like, and that energy that complements another person or a thing, and is just supportive. Sometimes that complementary energy is so overlooked. No, I didn't until later in life. Wow, yeah. No, because many of our parents were in survival mode themselves. Wow. I guess we were told, based on the Bible, to be equally yoked, but not really what that meant in the practical sense. Wow. And I saw it. I'm also with my parents and other black families. It wasn't intellectual, but was practiced under challenging circumstances. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I know initially, man, I was looking for something completely different as a 13-year-old or 12-year-old. The idea of what I thought I was supposed to be looking for it wasn't balance. There were a lot of single parents in my neighborhood, and so we didn't get to see many healthy relationships. I don't remember being given much regard on how to be in a relationship. Well, that's kind of where that's kind of what so I didn't really see that piece. I did. My mother taught me to be treated like a butterfly and to respect my temple. That's right. That's wonderful. This is kind of what happens oftentimes. And the way you can see it, sitting on the bench are matches. The sister is the light, and that's represented as a light that is burning inside. So the whole goal is to keep your light burning. And the attraction, look at the attraction and what's being ignored. And this doesn't even have to be just relationships, right? This can be in life. And sometimes, like, before I go into it, I'm gonna get your interpretation of this picture. My uncles told us to pimp. You know what a slam Cadillac doors. Yeah. Wow. It was interesting because, with the propaganda of the 70s and never trust a woman. Wow. You got that was when you got Superfly and the Mac and those feature films that changed our entire reality on how we saw each other and ourselves. And that's a whole build shop in itself to really understand, like, the images that we saw that corrupted our interpretation of who we are. And if you think about it, that language we hear today. What's up, player? What's up, pimp? Like we still hear that language today. Like it's stuck that much. Brother Q said no unless you had a spiritual family that talked to you a lot. We were looking for a cutie, which comes from your peers who learn most of the game, right? Most of our game, yeah. Like saying, being in love with a toxic person on both the one on the bench and the lady looking at the guy on the bike. Yeah. Black exploitation movies didn't help relationship building there. It was the most catastrophic piece that happened to relationships. And you know, we were taught by promotion through the commercial industry to be attracted to the things we're going to put our lights out. Like, and as you see, like the brother on the bench that could have kept her the light burning is completely ignored, while the extinguisher that's going to put her light completely out on a motorcycle, she's just infatuated with. Pastor John said we idolized the Mac. Yeah, man. How many heard it like after they came out? How many brothers wanted to be Goldie and Priest from Superfly and have a car with, and the music fed the Gangsta White Walls and sunroof top Gangsta White Walls. So next question, y'all, what does it take to get here? It's gonna come up in a second. To take that leap of faith, like what's it gonna take for us to get here? Yeah. To really take that leap of faith. I think about it from all the way back to the Underground Railroad when Harriet and others came to the plantation and they put out the literature that looked like there's going to be a movement to freedom. Only a few people left. And Sister Harriet said if they knew they were free, I could have said so many more. Like, you know, if they knew they were slaves. And I don't know, like, you know, even if it's so much I knew they were slaves, it's like I don't know that I can trust and believe in freedom enough to leave being whipped and raped and lynched. I don't know that I trust enough to step out on that pathway. Unselfish commitment to the we and not me. Right. Vulnerability, transparency, and trust to get there. Let's take that jump. Yeah. Unselfish commitment. Pastor John said personal sacrifice. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is what we really have to think about, whatever kind of capacity we're in. Like, you know, are we willing, and whatever capacity we're in, like, are we willing to take that leap of faith and being selfless, personal sacrifice? Yeah. And because a deep love for self will give us the courage to make this leap. Right. A deep love for self. Wow, that's it, and that like, you know, and so if we tune into them, or if we tune into the programming that's being given to us, is there, you know, can we even connect with self-love if we're tuning into that programming? I mean, or do we have to completely unplug to get there, or can we be connected to that programming and get to love of self and knowledge of self? Wow, Roxanne said it would say no. Wow. Yeah, that's the hard one, because it's almost like we're addicted to the programming, and the programming is so destructive. The programming has us believing that we are oppressed and we have to look to others for our freedom. Yeah, Carl says I agree. Right. Professor, what do you mean by programming? What we ingest, right? So what we tune into, the stations that we tune into, right, and the frequency that we allow to enter in our eyes and ears. Like you say, you are what you eat. You are what you see and hear also. So what you actually see, what you tune into, what we because we might just think it's entertainment, even though they even tell us the name is programming and say, oh, the programming, right? So, but it's what we actually tune into. Thanks for that question, Deborah. Roxana says, because the programming is about stuff and self-improvement to the point that no one's feelings matter. Yeah.
Dr. Bruce, someone had a question about what is, Dr. Bruce, what do you mean by programming? That's by Deborah.
Right. That's what I was saying. The programming is what we tune into. That it actually becomes a part of our everyday, right? So the channels that we tune into and what comes through our eyes and our ears, like every day, like what we take in. Veronica says the program is rooted in selfishness, greed, and exploitation, and is the opposite of love, self-love, and self-care. Knowledge of self requires us to unplug from the programming. Songs, movies, shows, news, right? Everything, right? The frequency, right, that we're tuning into. It's like a station that's playing all the time. Because if you notice, like, and I want everybody to actually do this also. Take 3 moments in a day, morning, sometime in the afternoon, and at night, and listen to the words that are just that you hear, and just write them down. Write down the words that you hear. Don't say tell anybody what you're doing or anything. Just listen to the words that are coming into your ears, and just jot down, and that will be a gauge of the frequency that is around you, the energies that's around you, and what you tuned into. It's a distraction. A lot of programming is fear-based, yeah. Brother Julian says, Uptown Jules says, you can be more free in a prison cell than in a mansion if you don't relinquish your mind. Wow. Mind control on the channels we listen to kills our mind and spirits. Wow. I guess aside of beliefs and norms. Sister Yana, hey Yana. Tuning into their programming greatly compromises our natural affinity to choose love, trust, and joy. Pastor John says, change our playmates, our playground, sand, and our playmates. Wow, yeah. If you don't have some level of consciousness, it is extremely difficult to tune into their programming and leave feeling edified, validated, honored, and celebrated. Wow. I'm reading it again. If you don't have some level of consciousness, it's extremely difficult to tune into their programming and leave feeling edified, validated, honored, and celebrated. Wow. That's something that I know I deal with often, and it's like, you know, it's like we have to tune into something completely different. And because it just doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. Like, and sometimes, like, I don't want my children to hear this. Like, I might be in that kind of situation where it's something that's mainstream and is normed, is normalized, and I'm like, I don't want my children to use those words. I don't want them to think of themselves that way. Like, I don't want them to even know that this is an option. And it's being celebrated, and it's scary. Like, it's scary, and and I know that you can't just cast it out. We have to transform it, and that's the hard piece. Okay, it is part of a systematic racism that will erode our goal of becoming the person who can possess the faith to take the lead. Wow, yeah. That's why we need more brave spaces to deprogram. Yeah, Teacher's right. That's why we have to create the brave spaces, and we have to kind of drop the forced compliance piece that we've been taught to socialize our children with. And we need to create those brave spaces where they can be open and honest and not be judged, and we can actually learn who we are in another space. Because if it's not a loving space, then it just becomes to be a re-traumatizing piece. Even though sometimes it's like for protection, like we just want to protect them, and it's like, well, you just got to comply. Just like you say, and being stopped by the police, just survive the encounter and don't say anything. But it's like, when do we debrief from the way that we feel every day? And I know that I've been getting many I go ahead and say it. I've been getting many suicide calls. I've been getting referrals to talk to children and adults that have been thinking about taking their lives. And over the past year, it's been like I've got more calls than I probably got in my entire life over this past year. And just that somebody needing somebody to talk to. People needing brave spaces right now in this time. Okay, we 10 minutes left. All right. We speak over to our children. Words carry tremendous. That's right. So, a couple of things, and we're gonna wrap up and know that this is the beginning and setting the foundation for more conversations. This is kind of just laying down a platform for things that we really need to discuss and talk about as we move toward transformation, because we're moving to joy, right? Destination joy. 2022 was the portal. The portal is open for us to release toxic energy, past pain, past trauma. We can release that along with this pandemic, and we can move on to a journey toward joy, and that's the destination. We're not going to recreate the same insanity that we just came out of. We're gonna move into a completely different reality. Questions to take with you: how did love happen in our lives, and how did that impact our responses to love? Well, we're gonna think about that. How can we create brave spaces with our loved ones to release past trauma, heal, forgive, grow, thrive, and transform together? And what level of love do we have to enter the portal to our cocoon for transformation? 3 things that we're going to think about. How did love happen in our lives? How did it impact our responses to love? How can we create brave spaces with our loved ones to release past trauma, heal, forgive, grow, thrive, and transform together? And what level of love do we have to enter the portal of cocoon of transformation? And I'm gonna give you a last visual before we go to questions and close out, because I want this to be the last image in your consciousness as we hold out right here. This piece, if we could see even something from our children, but even ourselves, if we saw ourselves, our children, and as future butterflies, then we would nurture the journey of the caterpillar and be excited about what is going to be birthed out of our life energy. And know that if when you commit to healing and building, that give yourself time. Don't punish yourself. Release that. Forgive yourself and let that go. And know that your life energy is about birthing something that's going to be beautiful. So there's a butterfly that's getting ready to come out of that cocoon, but you just have to allow Allow yourself that time and that space to birth, the best parts of you. And I'll close out there and go to questions.
Yes, and if anyone has any questions, you could put them in the chat. Everyone was so interactive on the chat. I feel like you got.
I wish we could have seen everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's, but we still did it with the chat though. It's cool. Like it's cool.
Yes, hopefully soon we'll be able to meet in person again and have dinner together and go back to a more communal place where the brave spaces, you can hug someone and comfort them and be together that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so I don't know. Did you see Carl's comment here? Most of our kids are programmed to the ideas of society problems, crime, computer games, etc. We need to talk. Take their phones, computers, and TV just to talk to our kids and see what's on their minds. We don't understand what they are thinking.
Hey, Carl, we had to fight the youngins. We take their phones. We tried that. We tried to mind Angela. We said, okay, y'all gotta get your phones up. Man, they shut down. They completely shut down. It's like, oh, we're not doing anything else with our phones. They could not put their phones. But yeah, hey, I agree, man. Like, at some point, we gotta cut the phones off.
Yeah. So Miss Julian and Aona is asking about the chat and will the recording be reposted? Yes, we have an awesome new psychologist. She just graduated from Oregon, Shania Fortune. She will put together the chat for us and send that out. And then also we repost the Mind Health Shop Talks totally for free on Facebook and also YouTube. So now you won't be able to hear Al Green in there because it's protected content. But the information, the great thing about that is, Dr. Bruce, you have the words, so someone can read the words as they're looking at the images. So that's a great resource and a takeaway, because a part of us healing is seeing those images of Black love and freedom, like someone had said earlier. So this presentation will be available again. Can we hear Zoom again? We have participants acting up in the chat. They want to hear you Zoom again. Oh, Karen has a good question. What will we replace the phones with? Can we ask them?
Yeah, I think like if they didn't have the phones, they would forget. They would start playing and connecting and wouldn't even remember that they had them. They just don't know. They don't know.
Because I think about like when the electricity goes out and you have no choice, like either it's a snowstorm or like our neighborhood, for whatever reason, if it's thunderstorm, our electricity goes out and you're just like, okay, well, I guess we're going to play video games. I guess I'm going to have to talk to you.
Yeah. They found out how much fun you can have that without it. Like how much fun it was to really just run and play and connect and outside of that electronic piece. Thanks for that, Mama Karen.
Oh, Deetra said, what do you think a brave space would look like within a relationship? How do we get there? So much trauma as a Black man and a Black woman. That's a great question.
Yeah, I think that's really, it's so intentional and so important, and should be the first thing that we actually do. Like, cause if we're not willing to go there, then we really can't be in an intimate relationship if we can't have a brave space. And to know that, but we have to first go there ourselves and know that, release the need to judge, based on anything, because that's the piece. The reason that we lose it is because when we're first judged, that's when we start shutting down. Yeah. When we're young, like if we don't have that piece, then why would we be nervous about sharing the truth if we didn't get punished for sharing it? Thanks for that.
I think that's so important. Dr. Gregory talked about that. I had heard him like twice talking about communication, and he was like, if we really were trying to communicate with people, we wouldn't have that idea of like they're so perfect that as soon as they share their idea, we knock them down, and it's like it closes that door. You can't move past that.
Yeah. He said, man, like our little people, they'll try anything. And when you're time like between 5 and 7 years old now, like they just know. You do this like, no, you won't get me. You won't get me.
They're like fearless and they tell you anything.
They'll dance and sing and do stuff. They don't even, they care. Like, like they live, until they become like, oh, they learn what cool is. Cool's so destructive, just like,
Yes, definitely. I just wanted to also thank everyone for coming out today. You had a really great audience. They were interacting with you. They were asking questions, giving comments. And I think that's where we all learn, is when we're all giving feedback and learning from each other. We also have a Mind Health Shop Talk coming up. I did put your, if you want to connect with Dr. Bruce, which I suggest you do, he has healing circles. I think you're still doing your healing circles, right? Yeah. So that way you can connect with him. You can buy gear to support him and the Love More movement. He has beautiful shirts, hats, everything. So I did put his contact for the social media and the website in the chat. And also I wanted to let everyone know, guys, our next Mind Health Shop Talk, Dr. Bruce, you're going to want to come.
I know that's right.
Psychotherapy with Dr. Mbili Shaka, and she's from UDC, and she's going to be talking about some of the principles from being 400 years without a comb, and just all the ingenuitive things Black men and women have done to get and press through their freedom, and how we really, our hair is that beginning point, our entry point into mental wellness. So I did put the description in the chat as well with our survey. If you think that Dr. Bruce Purnell was awesome, he was prepared, he needed more time, had just enough time, all those feedback points, please fill out the survey. It will pop up when the Zoom is closed. And then our last thing is for our giveaways. So I don't know, what should we do to pick our 3? Because I have 3. I'm gonna let Dr. Bruce pick. Either we can pick randomly, or we can do one of your questions and have them email the answers. The first 3 people, that's who wins.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go with our elder first. Who's the eldest on the call? Like
so you have to email us with who's the eldest, or you want to put it in the chat. Yeah, we should do that now. We just get it over with now. So for our first giveaway, Mr. Panda Heart or Ms. It's just Panda Heart. Let's see who's our elder in the Mind Health Shop Talk, and that'll be the person that gets the first prize. And then maybe you want to do the youngest as well?
The youngest, yeah. Okay,
so we'll do older, youngest, and if you put, so we got some answers. We have answers. Dequila is 26, Carl Smith, 61, Trinette, 71. Julian, 78.
Okay. So the eldest brother and eldest sister. So that'd be 2.
Okay. So I guess that's so we don't know.
So the
Geraldine, sister. Okay, yes. So we don't know who's a sister or a brother.
Geraldine.
So if you can tell us, that way we'll pick 2 that way.
Okay, Geraldine is 78. So I think she gets it. She's a sister, and Julian 78 as the brother. I think that's
okay. So Geraldine and Julian, if you guys can email me so we can get your information, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And we can also, Shanae, can you just make a note, because we'll reach out to them as well.
It looks like Daquela is the youngest. Daquela Dukes, 26.
All right, so we got our 3 people. So Daquela, if you can email me We have our 3 winners. So thank you all so much for, okay, yes, Julie and I have your email. Thank you all so much for
joining. We got 85, Roxanne. We got an 85, Sylvia.
What?
We got 85. 78 looks young. He looks young out here.
So 85. So Miss Sylvia, we're gonna get you something as well. I have a couple of journals that I can give away. So we need to honor Miss Sylvia. We didn't see that. She was taking her time. She was trying to make it, you know. Yeah, she said give her mine. No, Miss Geraldine. So we have enough for everyone, not the hearts, not Mr. Panda, but I have enough giveaways that I can definitely get those 4 people their prizes. So thank you guys so much. Congrats for the winners, because really we're all winners. We got to spend time together, build a brave space together.
That's right.
Oh, Richard said, many thanks, Dr. Bruce and Roxana. It's discussion time, Black people, self-group preservation, celebration, validation, or self-group spiritual, emotional, physical, psychological annihilation. Yes.
That's right.
King Richard.
That's right. That's right.
So have a great night, guys. That's the end of what we have for you. Hopefully we'll see you March 18th for psychotherapy. Have a good night. Thank you, Dr. Bruce.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you too, Dr. Bruce. Thank you.
Got to do the heart.
Oh, sorry. Let me do my heart. Wait. I want to get back on. Show me my. Well, anyway, so I'm doing the heart. Yes. You guys, thank you.
Thank you.